Hello, I'm here today with Fola Salako, who's from 1 Great George Street, a venue in central London. Hello, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see you.
You too, and thank you for joining us to play 20 questions.
You're welcome.
Something to keep us busy on a lockdown day, that's for sure, isn't it?
Definitely.
So, are you ready to start?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the first question is, where are you in the world and why?
Okay. Well, I'm at home in London. Quite happily been working at home now since March of 2020. Gosh, it sounds crazy to say that. And I saw in your questions, like, where exactly are you working? So I'm lucky enough, I'm working in the front room, very lucky where I live in Greenwich, that I've got a view of the river out to Canary Wharf. So I'm working
lovely.
here.
Lovely, that sounds
also
great.
Close to the fridge, so because it's open plan. So it could be good, could be bad, but more good for me.
That sounds like good planning to me. Okay, our next question is, what do you love about the event industry and how did you get started?
I think the main thing that I love about the industry is the people. You meet such different, diverse, such a variety of people and characters and personalities. And I love that about the industry because that's what makes the events as well, makes them so unique and so special. I actually got started back when I used to work for a magazine and they ran an awards show. So I started working on the awards, with the event planner that managed that, and just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the whole aspect of it, the craziness of it, doing table plans, coming up with, dealing with people's dietaries, all of that. And I thought, gosh, this is actually what I want to do as a career. And I studied media and communications. I always thought I'm going to be a writer. And it didn't end up that way at all.
So we've both worked on the ExCel London site. And for those who are watching, not familiar with it, that's the London's International Exhibition and Conference Centre. I think it might be getting close to, is it 100,000 metres squared in space? It's a massive centre. So I'm really interested to know, what did you love, or I guess not love, about working in that kind of mega large scale event environment? What did you find the most challenging? What did you enjoy?
I loved it, actually. I loved working there, and I actually loved it because it was so big. Because I'd went there from working at a football club, which obviously although we were doing events at the football club, it's a football club. The main focus is football and it's match day and hospitality, etc., which was great. That was a fantastic experience as well. But going to a place that was solely about events, and not just events, some of the biggest events that I've ever worked on, was unbelievable. Some of the budgets, obviously, that got spent there, went into seeing these incredible sort of things being produced, like watching a build for a whole week, because sometimes those events took a week, maybe 2 weeks longer to build, and seeing the final product and knowing that you'd been part of that was great. And it was a massive boost as well. You're proud of it, proud to be part of it. And everyone was pulling in the same direction as well. We all worked really hard. We all played really hard, and also on a personal level, I've made some lifelong friends from being there.
It's a special experience, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It definitely is.
And you mentioned that you were working in the football environment, which sort of leads me to the next question about the difference there must have been, or what was the difference for you in working with that corporate conference exhibition crowd at ExCel compared to the football fans, the stadiums, the sports environment? Yeah,
it was really different working from a football club to a standalone exhibition centre, because with a football club there's so many different aspects to it. You have the match day, corporate hospitality, away days, etc., because there were some away trips to the big games, especially at Tottenham. But going into working at somewhere like ExCel, where it is solely about events, it gave a different focus for me, because beforehand I was working on non-match day at Tottenham and at Palace, but also crossing over into match day on a match day side, working in the hospitality lounges, etc. But at ExCel, this was purely focused on large scale events and really getting into them. Like, from occasionally you would be planning those events from a year out.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic, an experience that I do think if you do want to work in events, I think it's an experience that everyone should go through at some point if they can.
I think that's really good advice. And then carrying on from that to the next question, where working on those massive events, you've had roles where you supervised event management teams with, I think, is it up to 8 event managers?
Yes, at ExCel, yeah.
So from that experience, what do you think are the characteristics of an excellent event manager?
I think you need to be flexible. I think you need to expect the unexpected. Be able to plan, and you try and plan for all eventualities. However, on a live event day, anything can happen, and you have to be able to adapt to that and roll with it, and not go back to, but I thought it was meant to be this. Like, nobody's got time for that.
Yeah.
when it's actually, when the event is live and it's running and you're in the middle of a dinner for 1,000, 2,000 people, you need to adapt to what's in front of you and make it work. And I think those are some key skills or personality traits that are really important when you're an event manager, whether it's large scale, small scale, and also being personal and professional with your clients and adapting to your clients as well. Some will be friendlier than others, some are going to be straight down the line, and you need to be able to adapt to that without losing yourself as well.
Very true, very true. So from there, you're now at 1 Great George Street.
Yes.
How would you describe that venue in 5 words?
I think we are a very welcoming, beautiful, grand, historic and flexible venue.
And for those who aren't familiar with the venue, could you just give us a quick update on where it is and the type of spaces that you have?
Of course. So 1 Great George Street, we're based in Westminster in London. We are just a few steps away from Parliament Square. So we are very well located.
Absolutely.
And we're also the home of the Institution of Civil Engineers. So we are a dual purpose venue in that sense, because we're their headquarters.
You couldn't get much more central than that, could you? That's fantastic. So pre-COVID, forget COVID.
Yes.
Who are your main clientele, your main base for the events there, and how has that sort of changed over time?
So we, because of our location in Westminster, we do a lot of government events, a lot of government events, a lot of think tanks as well use us. And we have been lucky enough because we are a great venue, I would like to say, one of the best venues in London. We have a lot of long-standing clients as well. So we have clients that from the mining industry, clients from the financial world as well, some who have actually been with us for, about 15 years. I mean, I've been there for 4 years.
Wow.
And I can take you back to, they've been with us for a long, long time. And in terms of how that's changed in the 4 years since I've been there, like, the long-standing clients are still there, but I do feel that there are some newer clients or newer sectors, industries, that have started to become aware of us and are starting to use us, certainly starting smaller and then going up to their larger events. And I think that's also down to one of our new business managers who has been going out into different sectors and really promoting us and making people that weren't there before that we do exist and that we're great.
That's true. You must go there. Everyone go there. Looking a little bit more at like the person behind the role, so a little bit more about you. Who has been a valuable role model in your life?
I would say my mum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like definitely. I mean, she came over here in the 60s. She was a very, very strong woman. She worked some long hours to look after me and my siblings. And she was always one of my biggest supporters, without a doubt. So, yeah, I would definitely say her, and her work ethic has stayed with me and still is with me all the way through. She had a really strong work ethic.
Oh, that's great. I hope she's watching this. So you've had a really successful career already in the event industry. So how do you now go about helping others in the industry, or, you know, as they say, giving back?
Well, we do mentoring when people do approach us. I think that's actually something that we could start getting a lot better at, because we were pre-COVID a really busy venue. Sometimes it felt a bit hard to be able to have the time to get people in, because it's one of those things that we want to get people in when we're busy so they can see what's going on, but at the same time you want to be able to have time to spend with them.
Yes.
So it's trying to find the balance. So what we have been doing is through people that actually are working with us, so through some of the waiting staff, who actually want to get into events, it's actually spending time with them. So they spend a day with someone in the events team and they shadow them through the whole day, or even sometimes a week, to see how we deal with clients, whether it's on the phone, whether it's over email, and then in person on the event day. And so that they can actually see what goes into it from a different side of what they're currently doing. And that's something that I really want to do more of once we're back open and running again.
It's a really great initiative, that sort of cross-training, cross-exposure experience, because people often do wonder how to break into events, but I'm asking my end question too early. So moving a little bit back to the COVID topic, how have you been spending your time in this sort of most recent lockdown? I guess we had November, and now again January.
Well, personally, I've been doing a lot of cooking. So I'm doing lots of baking. When COVID hit back in March, and there was and also we had the social justice reforms as well. I actually started an Instagram page called Fola Loves Food, and that is specifically focused on hospitality, so restaurants, food suppliers that are run by Black and people of colour, people of colour, and also female chefs as well. So people that are in the industry but are sometimes overlooked or aren't given the platform that others might be given. So I've started that, so I'm doing a lot on that at the moment. So that does take up a lot of my lockdown time, but I love it because it's something I'm really passionate about. And it's essentially trying to raise awareness of people that are, you know, small businesses that are trying really hard and just need that extra push as well.
No, that's a good way to be spending that time. It's fantastic. It has been a very tough year for the events venue industry. So, and generally speaking, as individuals. So, how do you keep yourself positive and motivated?
I think with things like the Fola Loves Food page, definitely that keeps me motivated, keeps me pushing, gives me something to do as well. And then it's like on a personal level, it is talking to people. So talking to my colleagues and who are friends as well. Now, I think with this lockdown, one thing that it has brought out is actually bringing people closer, certainly colleagues wise, is that, you know, there are some colleagues that we talk to every day, regardless, over whether it be over Teams or WhatsApp, whatever platform to use. And I think that's good because we'll lift each other up and we keep each other going. And we know that we're going to come out of this. And so it's just going, okay, everyone has a down day. I think it's good to not run from that or hide from that. It's like, okay, yeah, it's almost acknowledging that you're having a bit of a bad day, a bit of a crap day. And that is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And finding someone to talk to about that has been quite a big thing for all of us, I think.
Very important. I couldn't agree more. We touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but we're all fascinated at the moment about where we work, working from home. Are you in a shed? Are you in an office? Are you in the garden? Just tell me a little bit in detail about where you're working, why you chose it. Like, is your desk super tidy? Do you keep photos all over it? Do you move around the house to pretend you're going to meetings?
Yeah, I should do that actually. I haven't tried that yet. I'm in the front room. I chose it because I do have the view out there to the river. My desk, because I'm on the kitchen table. So it's tidy-ish. Yeah, sure, tidy. Let's say that. Let's say it's tidy.
We'll run with that.
Yeah, we'll run with that. I'm actually just looking at it now going, I really need to tidy up. And I like it. My husband is next door. He's in our second bedroom, which he's made into his office. And so there's space for both of us.
That's great.
And I mean, I did try the other day. I was doing some work from the bedroom, but it just didn't work really, because I was like, well, okay, well, if the bed's there, I may as well go to sleep. So for me, it's definitely better being up and sat at the kitchen table. Yeah.
And then, like, in that environment, you know, what is the favourite part of your day?
I think it'll be whenever I speak to colleagues, really. I love that. Love checking in. We don't always speak about work at all. We just speak generally, and that's probably my favourite part of the day. And also having lunch with my husband is quite nice, because not something we've ever been able to do before. And actually, a few times a week, actually stopping and having lunch together is really nice.
Okay, so we're doing well with that question. Sorry, I do get a little bit off track there. So what is the most important lesson that life has taught you?
I think I would say that nothing is guaranteed in this life, and you do need to work hard, put your into something, and really find your passion as well. And it doesn't always have to be through work. It can be personal as well, to find something that you're really interested in, to keep yourself motivated and to keep going.
I think that sounds pretty important to me. Given the situation that we are all in, there are still people who want to join and stay in our industry. They might have slowed for now, but they will regroup, bounce back. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to either join or move forwards in the event industry now? How would they go about that in 2021?
I would say to do some of the event courses, without doubt, but also to really focus on their technical knowledge. Because one thing that this has certainly shown everyone is the tech skills are very important. And I think that people are going to be looking for not just an event manager that can plan an event, so deal with a table plan, a floor plan or something like that, but actually have technical skills, or at least knowledge of what they're talking about when they are going to be, because we're not going to move away from hybrid. I think that is here to stay now in some form. I do feel that in-person events are going to come back, because people, just as human nature, like being around each other. Generally like to network. There are some things that you just don't get from being online, the networking, etc. Finish a conference, have a glass of wine at the end of it. But I think that technical knowledge, and to know what you're talking about, or at least to have an understanding of what you're going to be saying to your AV team, is going to be really, really important.
I agree, absolutely. Okay, we're down to our last 5 questions, and this is where it gets tough because these 5 questions are surprises. The people who are playing this game with me don't know what they'll be. So if you need a moment to think, that's fine, but you still only have that 1 minute.
Okay.
So here we go. So what words or phrases do you most commonly overuse?
Oh, definitely. I use that a lot all the time, definitely. And literally. Yeah, literally. I even just literally, like, and it's not even literal. You know, I don't even know why it's like, why am I using this? But I use it a lot.
I think they're probably commonly overused phrases, those ones. Yeah. Okay, what has been your guilty pleasure during lockdown?
Oh, you see, now, no pleasure should be guilty. Like, you know,
true.
No, pleasure is pleasure. I think it's certainly at the start of the first lockdown in March, a friend and I were, like, a few of my friends were ordering lots of wine from different places. Like, and so there was a lot of that, and that was actually guilty. And then other than that, I think I don't have the sweetest tooth, but I am doing a lot of baking, and now that has come, the sweet tooth has come out. Yeah, that's a problem. It's something I need to fix.
I don't think you should feel guilty about either of those. Here we go. This is a slightly challenging one, I think. But if you could go back in time, where would you go?
Oh, gosh, that's good. Where would I go? Oh, God, there's so many places I'd like to go.
I'd go back to yesterday and not eat those 5 pieces of cake, but you can go somewhere more meaningful for that.
I was like going back to the 18th century. I think I would like to go back to, but I'd like to be invisible. And I'd like to go back all the way back to like Henry VIII's time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To see how that was like back there, because I think I studied a lot of that at school, like back at school. I found it fascinating, and my sister was hugely obsessed with that time period. So I think I got that from her. So yeah, I'd like to go back to that time, but yeah, definitely want to be invisible.
Yeah, too much cutting off of heads. You don't want people to be able to see you. So
yeah.
All right then. So down to number 19. Tell us something about yourself that would surprise people or that they'd find unexpected.
I really like American football.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't see that coming. Really?
Yeah. I really like the NFL. And I only got into it quite recently. So like early last year. And yeah, I've become a bit obsessed with it. Really quite like the NFL. And even though I like sport, a lot of people know that I like sport, tennis, football, or soccer. Yeah, but football. I have never said anything about American football. That's kind of thing.
I think that could almost join the guilty pleasure list. No?
No, I mean, you know, it's the NFL. It's a great sport that I have now, because I always dismissed it before. I was like, what is this? And now I can understand why it's such a huge sport in the States. I can get that now.
Oh, that's brilliant. All right, we're up to number 20. So this one possibly a bit easy. So what would be your dream event to work on?
You know, it would probably be a wedding with an unlimited budget.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
It would be a wedding with an unlimited budget. And I think the reason I say a wedding is because I love the personal aspects of weddings. Obviously, corporate events are fantastic, and you still get a lot of pride and pleasure from doing those. But weddings are something so personal and so unique, and there's so many emotions as well, because you do build up sometimes some great friendships and relationships with your couple, particularly for me with the brides that I've certainly worked with over the years, who are still friends. But yeah, to have an unlimited budget and to be like, okay, the wedding that's taking place in this country and in another country, you know, really spread out, that would be, yeah. But I think sport-wise, yeah, it'd probably be the Champions League final.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Champions League final, to work on that.
I think they're both great. Oh, well, look, thank you so much for playing 20 questions with us today.
So welcome. That was a lot of fun.
To get to know you. It's the first time that we've met online like many people are doing at the moment. So I'm really hoping I'll be able to see you in real life later in the year over at the venue.
Definitely. We can't wait to have you there. Come and have a glass of wine with us.
Oh, that part I will definitely. And no guilt attached.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.